Mm,
Oh, we're live. We're live. Okay,
yeah.
ready? We're
No.
switching to blue. We're
No.
switching to
No.
blue.
No. No. We're not. No. We're not. No. No. Because we're live. Great. Well, thank you for telling me. Where are we live, Jimmy? What? What? Where are we live right now?
We're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. We're live on your YouTube. We're on my YouTube. On your ShineCast.
Oh, good.
On
Good.
Facebook.
You are definitely
Where else are we
you.
at? Where else are we at live? Where else do you got it? You got to say something. Where else?
Maybe YouTube. Who knows?
Your YouTube. Yeah, I said that. I know that I tried to connect my other sites, but I'm not sure if they're working, so I won't mention those.
Right. I wonder if anyone's
Yeah.
joining us right now. And let me just press the magic button. I mean, I'd say right now we haven't even begun, but people will be flocking into ShineCast as they usually do on WhatsApp and various other platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, while it still exists for a handful of weeks, and of course YouTube as well. Let me just check. Um, it's a very a lot of people have been reporting as well. You see, now all I want to do is see something on the HAPS app, right? And you see a lot of people that I've been speaking with report that. You load up the app, and where there should be images, there's nothing there. So I need to make sure that things are happening. Well, you've checked yourself, Jimmy, but it's not my device, by the way, because it's multiple devices, multiple internet connections throughout the globe. I think something needs to be sorted out, such as proper scaling for the influx and the capacity that has ensued over recent days and weeks on this platform. Right.
So,
As far as I'm concerned, I'm kind of ready to go and do.
okay, well, do the blue slate.
Okay, well, like that.
We're trying to make it. There we go.
Have you noticed as well that when you move your screen, you have to slide left and right in your broadcaster studio?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
So it is. Oh, what did you say? How dare you? I thought it was perfect.
I
And so
never
that
did.
means, that means while you're focusing as the producer on getting it all right, which buttons to press there with your blue slate, which we have on now, or a camera and a guest, or title sequence, or a countdown. You then
I
have
know
to
you.
remember. You're like,
Okay,
oh,
well,
now
let's.
have we got
Well,
any
now it's
comments?
rolling.
And while
Hey,
sorry, maybe you didn't realise I hadn't stopped talking, but I hadn't.
yes, I
And the point I was
understand that.
trying to make. So what was the point I was trying to make?
The point is that we should get started. I'm gonna push this countdown. No, the Shinecast opening titles is going on now. Okay. Oh, whoa.
You just can't get the start.
Hold on a second. Here we go. Okay, so here we are. I have no idea how to do this, Martin. Oh no, here we. Oh my God! Hold on. Well, what's going on here?
Well,
There we go, Martin.
Mr. Heaven, my first concern is that you told me that we were live on.
Oh my God! Why is it doing that? Why won't it stop?
Mr. Heaven, my first concern is that you did confirm as the producer here, director of this particular episode of Shinecast, and you did put yourself forward, if I remember rightly. But what I don't understand is you're telling me that we were live on Shinecast channels, your own personal channels as a guest, and mine.
Yes.
I see myself in my channels. I'm very upset.
What the hell is going on with this here?
I think we should invite somebody here, such as Pablo, or you know what? We got to do that, surely.
Why does it keep on coming on back on? What the hell? What's wrong with that?
Is there something wrong? Good.
Yeah, How do am I gonna delete the video? What should I do?
Delete
It
what
just keeps.
video? What?
It
What's
just keeps
happening?
on making an appearance. It just keeps on making an appearance. The opening.
Really?
Yeah. Why?
I think you need the instruction manual. That's called Pablo or Peter, possibly. Or
Yeah, we'll
Mark
just leave
from
it
now. There's
there.
a busy manual, very busy
It looks good
manual.
in the middle. Well, how you doing, Martin? Today,
I'll be
lovely.
okay. I'll be good very shortly. But first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press some magic buttons here, my friend, and we'll get this underway properly.
Oh,
Um,
see, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Why? You're loading yourself in here.
yeah, but I don't want myself in there because this is so that it's now, if you remember, we're live on my platform. You only go live as a guest on your own social media and networks and Haps account once you've joined the broadcast. If you remember, I was explaining that. Again, something that's, well, I totally understand why, but anyhow, it's something that's not too obvious once you start up there. But anyway, it's all good. Jimmy, you'll be happy now in just a moment when I show you how it's done, quite frankly. Uh, there you are. It's
The problem is these titles just keep on going off. So every time I touch the title,
there's been an update recently on Haps, by the way, and I think someone has actually taken note of the fact that previously, if you remember, I told you if you're watching back on a little digital device here to make sure that things are happening just fine, well, then the thing is that the sound on this device could not be muted or go to zero, the volume level. But it seems like possibly someone has been looking at that. Possibly, maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter because we're going to get this show underway right now. I think Jimmy's ready there on his script. Are you ready there, man?
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Therefore, I've just got to think speedily as to. Oh yeah, that's good. Right. Okay, we're happy with that. We're going to press a couple of magic buttons in a moment, but I see where. Oh dear.
I can't.
Right.
I can't even
I'm
stop
listening.
those titles. They just keep on coming.
Oh dear.
So I'm not touching them anymore.
Yeah, it's probably best, isn't it? I don't know what you're doing. They keep going on there. Yeah, right. It's all going to be just fine. I'm listening.
No, that's fine. I'm just like now. I'm trying to figure out how to like. There you go. But see now, what? There it goes again. I didn't touch it. That was you, right?
That I did. I'm just preparing. Any moment now, as if by magic, if I can get my SH1T together, I think people often say. Is that right? Let's do that. Right, Jimmy. Should we start today's ShineCast at 5 to the hour, the crazy hour? For you, it's tomorrow. We'll talk about that, I guess, in just a moment. Right, we've got to press a button there.
No, not again.
Yeah, no, it's all good. No. It's all under control now, I think. Everybody, welcome to ShineCast. We're about to roll the titles and get this thing going. I see what you mean, Jimmy. I see what you mean. And I understand now exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we don't have to do it again. It's fine. So what did you? Oh, how did you lower it? You was it a?
You want me to leave it like that?
Yeah, leave it like that.
Really?
Wow. So how you doing? What's going on in England? Was it 21st? The 21st of January this year, 2000. I can't believe we're already 22 days in or 21 days in.
I don't have a time machine, Jimmy. And what I mean by that is it's actually the 22nd, Friday, January 2021. And for you, it's already tomorrow.
No, not yet. In 3 more minutes.
Well, it's as good as. Okay, so
I'm still in Friday.
Yeah, but it sounds to me like you're far ahead of things at the moment. And got a lot on your mind, and it sounds like up and coming. There's a lot of things that need your attention, maybe,
You're
including a
absolutely
glass of
right.
wine.
Well, the glass of wine I opened, I think I've drank this before here. A bottle of Chianti,
Hmm. You
pretty
see
good
what just
stuff.
happened there? I don't know if you actually noticed. The bottle of wine made us switch sides on the screen. You didn't notice.
Oh, here, look at this. 6 minutes ago, we had a comment of was it
Yeah, that would have been from Rose. That was Steve Dwarf
a
on.
very she's a very
Twitter.
was it what do you call it, impatient.
No, she's just keeping her eyes on there as one of the associate producers, I think, on this particular podcast. Okay, thank you very much, Rose. What I'm going to do though is
Thank
press
you.
that. There you go. Did you not see what happened there? Did you blink, Jimmy?
Yeah, I saw you switch it. I saw you switch it.
Yeah. We shouldn't have switched it previously. Anyhow, well, version 2 is coming soon when it comes to the production side of the Haps app. Just a reminder, everyone that's new here, we're broadcasting today on the Haps app. That's haps.tv, any web browser from any device. Alternatively, you can head over to your iOS or your Android app store and
Sign up
download
today so
it.
you can join the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great community that's building here on Haps. I say here on Haps, you might be watching on another platform where we're linked to simulcasting effectively, and that's what's great about Haps, as well as it being a social media platform too. And more about that if you just head over there and check it out yourself. Yeah, and indeed, share, like, and follow. Please do. And anyone, anywhere, please leave us your comments. If you're not agreeing with what Jimmy's saying, see what I did there, and certainly tell us what your view is. Alternatively, if we're just not mentioning something that you think should be mentioned, then let us know as well. And we can certainly accommodate your thoughts on a particular topic. And the final thing is, we do appreciate those awards and support that's been coming in recently. Thanks so much for everybody. Yeah, absolutely.
My goal looks pretty low here.
Your goal.
Yeah, it says goal of $10. My 20% of a $10 goal.
Well, slowly but surely. I think the phrase is slowly catching monkey. You know that one, Jimmy?
Slowly catching monkeys.
Catching monkey. So it's like slowly catch the monkey.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
sort of a bit like sort of less haste, more speed, and kind of, well, if you just have a bit of patience, things will happen. A bit like people that go out there fishing. They understand that. So how's your week been over there in Nagoya, Japan?
It's pretty normal. Of course, the
Oh,
COVID,
whoa! Come on.
the
We've gone
COVID
past that,
situation.
haven't we? For a start, it's a new normal, but the point is there such a thing as normal? Come on, Jimmy, keep up.
Well, okay, I'm letting you all because we're in the COVID was it a thing, but I mean, you got to understand that I am pretty much isolated. I'm at home a lot. I do go out for shopping, but I don't do much else. And work, I'm working online, and I do a lot of reading and studying. Uh, right now, I'm getting hooked on silver.
Is that the
So,
horse?
silver coins here.
I'm just making you remember Silver the horse?
No, who's that? Hi ho silver.
Well, they always high ho Silver Lining. That was
Yeah.
Jeff Beck. That was a completely different song, but you make me remember that one. But yeah, Hi Ho Silver, yeah,
Yeah, hi ho
as in
silver.
the horse. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Can I just? Right. That's good. Yeah, I see what you're doing
American
there.
Eagles. American Eagles.
What else you
We
got
got
there?
some.
What do you
We
got?
got some very beautiful. Was it Vienna Philharmonic?
Yeah, very shiny.
So yeah, well, they're silver.
Yeah,
They're great,
very
great,
good.
and the way the things that are looking like what's going to happen in the near future, it's a good time to like put my money in silver.
That's what
I've
you're doing.
decided. Yeah. So how about your week? I mean, you're like total lockdown there or what?
Continues to be a lockdown, so they say, but you wouldn't know it if you go outside, really, as you said.
Okay, well,
Roads is busy, and what's going on with the COVID-19 situation as we head towards the end of January? For a lot of people, by the way, that can't come soon enough. The end of January for many, they haven't payment, a salary. If they're on a Monday to Friday or a 9 to 5 job, regular job for an employer. They have their January pay early, around about or just after Thanksgiving and just before Christmas, so that they have additional funds for anything extra they might want to buy at that time of year. But that means that because they receive their January pay early, then they have to wait until the end of the month for the next pay packet, like 5 or 6 days.
Why are they? Was it moving the paychecks up? Why are they moving them
I just
forward?
explained because you have your money at the beginning of December like you usually would, but then a lot of people, it's a time of year when you might need to, with family visiting, for example, although not so much. A lot of people due to COVID in certain countries, and depending on the restrictions and the laws that have been introduced now. So people are going to want to spend a little bit more money to have more food, for example, on Christmas Day to entertain the family, friends. So because they might need more money than they would normally have in their disposable income, they can and often have a pay advance for the
Oh,
next
pay
month.
advance. Okay,
Yeah,
yes, I see. And so then they struggle through January.
this is the problem. You see, a lot of people cannot budget, and they don't have the discipline of saying, you know what, I've got now a lot of money in my account that I usually wouldn't have, but I've got to work out how much still. You need to sort of save for a rainy day, but at least make sure that you've got enough money for each day until the end of January. But most people don't bother. And only
Well,
when they've got $150 left in the bank, they
I mean,
start
I mean,
worrying. It's too late,
I
and
am
it's still
I'm
only
in my
January
late
11th.
40s. I'm in my
Right.
late 40s, and I'm finally be able to do that. But I'm telling you, if you're in your 20s, it's a lot harder to do that when you're a
Teach
lot
it at
younger. I don't.
school. Teach it at school. This is the
They
thing.
don't.
We learn a lot of SH1T at school. History, okay, great. Bit of geography, maybe fine. But there are certain things that. Well, the worst thing, for example, is with what you call math. Of course, a lot of American English up there for Jimmy Heaven, but it's math. It's mathematics. So that we're on a common ground. Mathematics, yeah. We all learn that at school, but particularly the example is algebra. Most people are algebra, even when they leave school, even when they are, as you say, 40, 50 years old, a lot of people are like, yeah, maths, I was never good at it at school, or I
I
was, or
never
whatever.
used it.
And I never used algebra. But the most basic example of where you're wrong, if you think that, in life, after leaving school and when you're 40, 50, you certainly we all use algebra, even if you don't think about it, you're doing it. When you receive a receipt out of the cash register till, when you go into a store, okay, and you bought two items, so you've got one item number two, and then the total. But for some reason, although it printed everything okay, that first item, the price just didn't get printed correctly. Yeah. So how do you work out what the first item did cost? Well, you take the total and you take away the second item from the total, and the remaining uh, figure is how much the first item costs. And that's algebra in its most simple form.
That's great. It's just yeah, the name algebra I understand, but in general, I'm hoping that a lot of school will be eliminated soon. I think it's just a brainwashing institution. It's unnecessary. There's enough information that you can learn yourself. I think there's basic things that you might need to learn, but definitely think they need to shorten the school years of this basically brainwashing.
Right. Well, I personally, can I possibly suggest that for a long time I thought that education, certainly school, is one of the handful of ways, if not more, that authority has attempted to control people, even at
Absolutely.
a young
That's
age.
what. That's exactly what it is. There's got to be. Was it? There's too much importance put on school, like your
Yep.
status of who, like you're going to be a different person if you go to school, and I think that's wrong. You're removing the basic human element of things. You know what? You're
Right.
better because you went to a more expensive school. I don't think so. It's completely wrong. So, and I
Well,
think there's too much importance put on people with education that can't do anything, which where I think I would have, the farmer, the machinists, the guy who's working with his hand, who's probably much more important in the at the end. If something, if everything collapses, those are the people that really have a skill.
yeah.
Am I
But
not right?
again,
Yeah.
things are, well, very possibly. There will be those that disagree. That's why the world is as great as it is, because people have different opinions. Glass half full, half empty. Speaking of which, I just saw that. Yes, it's definitely heading towards a bit more empty glass. But
It's the
yeah,
third glass,
you've got
man. What are you talking about?
oh yeah, no, I didn't say it wasn't.
And what are you
It's
drinking
almost
this
empty, and we're
afternoon?
heading over to nothing. I don't have anything here. I had some tea earlier on with some milk. Do you drink tea with milk there yourself?
Well, I drink. Well,
English tea?
honey. I just bought like 3 liters of honey like a couple of weeks ago. So honey.
Okay, so you drink honey.
Well, no, with the tea,
Thank you. Right, so
and
you
it's
have
good. And it's
right.
good for
Okay.
Canadian honey. I got some Canadian, 3 liters of Canadian honey.
It's a good point, actually. You see, that I don't hear people referring to it. If you just have a tea, okay, whether it's tea bags, let's not discuss whether bags are no good compared to fresh tea leaves. But anyhow, you put the tea and your boiling water in the cup, and indeed, a lot of people add lemon, and it's called lemon tea. And some people add honey, only
Honey
honey to the
lemon
tea.
tea.
I've never only honey to the tea, and I've never heard anyone mention the word or the term honey tea like they do lemon tea. And of course, yes, as we were saying, yes, indeed, they can have both in there. I often do have honey in tea with a bit of lemon as well. But again, I've just never. Have you ever heard it called honey tea?
I've heard honey lemon tea.
Okay, I've never heard that either. But as I say,
Honey tea, I
yeah,
haven't heard. You actually, I haven't heard
but isn't it
honey
strange?
tea.
But we have lemon tea when you put
Honey
lemon.
sweetened tea.
That's right. That's the point. They say, "Do you want sugar?" Some of it. No, I don't have some sugar. Only honey. But it's not like I want. I would like a honey tea as a phrase, just a simple thing. Anyhow, yeah. So I had some tea earlier on myself. So that's good. It was actually a good cup. I've been tending to make sure that the tea is well, less milk in it more recently, and it's a stronger cup of tea.
Yeah, it was.
I
It's
think
like tea. Was it tea? What would be a tea with a lot of milk? It wouldn't be the coffee with a lot of milk would be called a latte. But what would a tea with a lot of milk be called? Milk tea. I guess it would
milkshake.
just be milk tea. Well, no, it would be
A
milk
tea
tea.
milkshake.
Martin, I gotta mention to you. So I gotta ask you something or mention something to you on the technical side. Your
Yes.
microphone.
Ah, I feel very
Your,
disappointed now. Yeah, why didn't you mention this to me earlier?
I kept on trying to mention it, but then you kept on, talking. So it's
Right.
not that I can't hear you. It's not
How
that I
long have we
can't
been
hear you.
broadcasting for right now? 23 minutes? And I've
It,
been talking
no,
so
no,
much that you haven't been able to get a word in edgeways. I would be very
exactly,
disappointed if I was you, Jimmy, right
exactly.
now. Well,
Well, listen, it's not that I
there is a
can't hear
reason.
you. Okay, now I can't hear you at all, and I think that you've shut me off, or you. Oh no, you haven't shut me off. Okay, yeah. Well, there is a reason. Okay, so you didn't have a clip-on mic. You were using your headset. Okay, that's why. So it's not that I couldn't hear you.
But it
Yeah.
was that
I
you
think.
couldn't hear me. You
Oh
just said
no,
yourself you couldn't hear me. You
no, I
see,
could
and
hear you.
that's
I
oh,
could hear you.
this is now. Yeah, exactly. There we are. Let's do the
Much
swap
better.
because it's easier for me. And yes, exactly. That's why I'm disappointed because that means up until this point, all people could hear was probably the fan going on the computer here because of the way this apps platform is. It's very, very CPU hungry. They're going to have to get to the bottom of that. I really don't understand it, but there you go. Yeah. My computer here struggles at times, particularly if you have more than just, myself on a broadcast. But anyhow, thank you for that, Jimmy. Better late than never, they say.
Well, I'm not too concerned. I think you are still, was it at this day and age? I think having the perfect show is not that important anymore. It's
No
just
such
live.
thing as perfect. That is the point. And that's what we
Yeah.
try and get across to people in a professional capacity with my live streaming expertise. I mean, come on, this is a good example. None of us are perfect. Even the experts or those that profess to be experts. Yeah. Right. Okay. 99.9% perfect is the max we'll ever reach, if that. Okay. But I'm very disappointed with our assistant producer in Halifax, England today.
Are you talking about Rose here?
Yeah. She would have picked up usually and said the sound's a bit iffy, or but not today. What happened, Rose? I think that's why she's probably not there now. She's probably not going to say anything now because she's disappointed that she didn't pick up. I would be as well, Rose, but never mind. Next time, please. Thank you very much. Anyway, what's going on at the moment in Japan regarding the pandemic and sort of leveling off again in any way when it comes to the outbreak and the vaccination?
Third wave. There's no vaccination in Japan yet. I think expecting in February, probably March, more likely.
Why is there no vaccination in Japan yet when it's available to the world? If the world goes to these,
I don't know exactly what it is. If they're going to produce it themselves here or they're going to import it. They were talking about they didn't have the facility to store the original. I guess was the Pfizer. Was it the Pfizer one?
Yeah, the one where it had to be 70 degrees or something.
Yeah,
frozen,
minus. Yeah. And so I guess it was the next one, the AstraZeneca or whatever. Is that what it was? Right. And I don't know if they're going to be producing it with them in Japan or not. So it's not here yet. The third wave of the pandemic is here. There is some government. Was it
That's my one.
Request. Yeah. Request their request to closing your shop a little early, and they are actually subsidizing stores that completely close, or I guess with a good amount, like a daily was an allowance for a store that closes for that day. And from what I hear, I don't know if it's different in different prefectures or different cities, but from what I hear, the amount that they're getting or is being subsidized to close their restaurant or bar is actually quite a decent amount. In fact, probably more than some bars even make on a daily basis. I know that a few businesses have been reluctant to close because they're concerns for their employees. So they're trying to keep their business open to earn that extra money so they can at least pay their employees.
Yeah, because they've got mouths to feed, families, if not just themselves. So, yeah, and they need an income. So the employers feel somewhat responsible for that, which is that is so in line with, responsibility that I see often in Japanese culture, certainly. Absolutely. Hey, Chris Bryant's joined us, by the way.
Hey,
maybe Chris, while we're on the subject, I hope you're well, staying safe there, down there in the southwest of England. Have you got any take on this, Chris? The pandemic, has it affected you professionally at your job? Chris works at one of the biggest grocery stores, sort of like the top 4 or 5 in the UK. We have Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Waitrose. Chris has the one where he works called Morrison's. And I just wonder, the reason I bring that up is in the past week, and I'm like, really, it's taken them nearly a year to figure this out, as well as government saying other things about making new rules. But come on, they've decided now to clamp down, toughen up on people that try to walk through the door in his supermarket with no mask on. Now, hold on a minute.
That should have been done a long time ago. I think the private business has a right to refuse service. And it's so stupid that you need, some kind of government backing? I think people are relying too much on this government thing of what the government thinks and what the government says, when actually the government knows nothing. These people have never...
The government is the fact that why they waited...
Hold on. Listen, the people in the government have never run a business. They have never done anything that is worthwhile in life. So why would you expect them to have any ideas or an inkling of what should be done? I don't understand that. Every good idea comes from the public sector. And I noticed, wait, hold on. I'm talking to a lot of people, and people say the same thing. It's like, oh, well, the government should say we should do this, then it would be a lot easier to follow the rules. It's like, what you want your slave masters to make a rule for you to follow? Like, you cannot use a little bit of your brain to think what you should do and how you should be careful?
No, I totally agree. And I was going to say that one reason people think that ministers, politicians can run, the government well, and they assume that, hold on a minute, they're kind of business people. A lot of them are barristers, lawyers, and therefore...
The most useless of them all.
Therefore, they've acted on behalf of their clients, who in turn are generally, often business owners, and they are more corporate cases that they'd be involved with than personal, I would suggest, if not 50-50. But I agree with you. You know, and a lot of these people as well do have their name on certain businesses. And you can imagine they're probably director, which means I say Chris, you do.
Chris is here. He comes here. That's yes. People can use their common sense. Obviously, yeah. Why don't they? It's like these people want the government to tell them, "Oh, tell me that I have to stay home." Dude, you don't have to stay home. You can be careful. Don't go out as much or whatever, But yeah, government is pretty. That's not the place to look for answers. They're the ones that cause problems in most cases. So,
Although President Trump, who has just finally left the White House physically, I don't know in his mind mentally whether he has done so fully yet. But the one thing they did say that was great about that presidency is that he started no wars around the globe.
yeah, well, he had a few scuffles to end like ISIS and stuff like that. Yeah, but he didn't start any wars, and now I guess are we going to go back into war? It's going to really suck. That's the one thing that the reason I voted for him. In 2006.
Did you watch the inauguration of the 40?
I watched clips of it, but it wasn't really an inauguration. It was like, was it an installation? It wasn't an inauguration. It was an installation. They put a puppet lawyer. They put a puppet. Was it a president that they've chosen, not been elected, but just chosen and thrown in? It's ridiculous. He's not running anything. It's now we've just got big corporate government that's entrenched in Washington that's running things. Did you see the inauguration? It looked more like it was like North Korea. In fact, you're talking about North Korea. It looked like North Korea. That's what it looked like. And actually, I saw there was a part of the motorcade that turned their back to him. Yeah, so I mean, it's ridiculous.
Do you feel yourself? Do you get the sense that this is? I'm not suggesting it's positive or negative or asking at this stage, but do you sense yourself subsequent to that moment that we just spoke about, the installation, aka inauguration, on other occasions? Do you sense a change has taken place?
Yeah, we're stepping one step closer to what George Orwell was writing about in 1984.
Right.
It's funny that the people that don't like the thing is they don't care about policy. They just don't like Trump. I don't like the way he speaks. I don't like, which is ridiculous. It's like the way what he was trying to do was pretty amazing. He was somebody, an outsider who's changed things. Of course, he was like the new manager. Like the new manager, nobody likes the new manager. He's trying to fix things. And these people are like career politicians, have been there 30, 40 years. They haven't done anything. All they care about is holding on to the jobs. So they have to squash him out. Everything they accuse him of was actually what he was did, because he was pretty clean. He's pretty, he in his business dealings, maybe he was a tough guy, and he was like, but as far as like dirt, it wasn't much dirt they could dig up on. Like they just made up dirt. So, and of course, people will say differently because they believe the mainstream media. Like they're like, oh, now we can't. People don't believe the mainstream media because Trump called it. They were like fake news. Like no, they were fake news. For instance, CNN was based on the premises of fake news. Do you remember when CNN on the premise of fake news? Do you remember when CNN blew up? When CNN blew up, it was during
it was Iran. Or was it Afghanistan?
No, first Gulf War. First Gulf War.
That was yeah, right.
So yes. everybody's like, so like, oh my God, CNN is so great, and maybe even me at the time. Of course, now hindsight is 2020. You see what went on. You're like, oh my God, they were. Hold on, they were on the ground. They're in the front line, and they're doing all this. They're in the front lines, telling you exactly what's going on. No, there's no way that a news organization could be in the front line if the corrupt military industrial complex did not let them shoot the propaganda that they wanted to show the world. And that's right. CNN. That's the basis of it.
Sure. Can I just pick up on something? Chris was commenting that about production value, technically. Thanks for that, Chris. When I say I'm aware, it's always good to have that feedback, particularly as we're doing this right now live and knowing that things are holding up. But certainly at the beginning of the broadcast, everything's in place now when it comes to internet connectivity, which was letting us down previously on these broadcasts. But I'm on top of that, one step at a time. There's a lot going on here. I'll tell you now, probably need a team really running this with all the technology that's in place, which is why it was rather frustrating at the beginning of these broadcasts here on ShineCast, certainly, when we were it was worse than dial-up 28K modem on some occasions. But yeah, I was aware of the problem, and I've managed to sort stuff out, initial foundations of all this techie stuff, so that's good. Piers Morgan was on CNN. That's one. I don't know if you know Piers Morgan, Jimmy.
Of course, I know Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
I think
you only know Piers Morgan because of his more recent step over to the American networks and media, because Piers started on the newspapers here in the UK many years ago. He's now on breakfast television in the mornings, and he's definitely an outspoken person. I've got to say this because I generally don't speak about, I say bring him up because of my past views, which is I didn't take to the man too well. I really didn't like him, particularly for his tabloid newspaper work. However, I like the fact that he does challenge people in authority, such as politicians, who pretend they know something or that they're doing things with the right intentions for the people, but actually, as ever, they're just worrying about themselves, their immediate family, associates, and it's often what is it called? I'm trying to think of the term now, when they have they're looking after their friends in politics, and they're in cahoots. I'm trying to think of the word now. What is it? Not cronyism. Can't think.
Corruption.
Right now.
Corruption.
No, Chris will tell us in a moment.
Conspiracy.
I'm sure. No,
you know what? I kind of flip flop on Piers Morgan. There's times where sometimes I'm thinking he's great.
You seen him wearing flip flops? Huh? What was that?
No, I flip on the position if I like Piers or not. So what I'm saying is that he, when he was in America and talking about American issues, I was like, shut the fuck up. Go back to your own country. You want to talk about issues like that. Go back to your own fucking country and deal with it. So that's what I thought while he was in America.
It is, Jimmy.
Yeah, but now that he's back in Britain to some extent, maybe I can appreciate him a little bit more. But going to another country and being a newscaster and then talking, shut up. We fought the British to get rid of you. Okay, so I'm sorry, but that's the fact. And to come up with your stupid ideas, and a lot of people are like, Europe and this, and Europe is beautiful, but I don't want those. I wouldn't want those European or British ideas in America. That's what we cut our.
David Attenborough.
David Attenborough, you're talking about the naturalist?
Well, he is a natural, but yeah, that's the man. Yes.
Yeah. What about him?
Well, what's your opinion on him in one sentence?
Well, I don't want to listen to his opinion, but if I'm watching a nature show, he's got a great voice and a great way of presenting it.
Oh no, but you were just saying that you fought the British to get rid of such British people. But there you are. So I'm confused.
What are you talking about?
You said that the British were fought in order to rid.
Exactly to break away, get their freedom away.
British people, right? Oh yeah, right.
To get their freedom away from that. So if you're coming from another country and he still was a national, it's not like he was it a U.S. citizen?
No.
Or did he? No, I don't think so. Yeah. So yeah, no. So your opinion is not really wanted.
Does challenge people, but allegedly went to Antigua for Christmas when told everyone was to stay at home. Yeah, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So a bit two-sided person.
You know what? Everybody in the media. That everybody in the media and all the politicians. Yeah, and they still get paid. That's the worst part. All these politicians should be like they should have their pay cut until this pandemic's over. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, they're telling business owners that they have to shut down and they have to cut off their business and they have to lose money and destroy themselves while these people are getting paid with the taxes that these people are trying to make. Screw them. Cut their pay. In all countries.
Because I can't.
Oh yeah, no, come on. These people, they should get a pay cut. What? This is ridiculous. Telling people that they should have to close their business and blaming people on businesses that are, they're basically trying to survive and they're still paying taxes to the corrupt governments around the world. And these officials are getting paid from the taxpayer money. They have no right to say anything.
A lot of people would agree with you.
Well, they don't have to agree with me. It's just my opinion.
Well, that's the ones that don't. But a lot of people would agree with you.
Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my opinion. Yeah.
What else is new other than, well, the state of politics being in more of a state
I don't
after the
like
last couple
talking
of
about
days?
politics. Why do you
What
have to
else
bring
is?
it up all the time? I don't even like
Um,
this title of the show we're doing now. The next
I was
4 years begin.
I was trying to move on, but yes, indeed, the next 4 years begin.
Yeah. Well, no, this year has begun. How about we just start with this year? Forget about politics, those useless
Well,
politics.
what about the year of the ox? How about that will be
I
starting
think it
imminently?
starts, yeah, in February, officially.
Hmm.
I think this year I really have to think about the little pay that I get. I have to find a way to invest it because I think as I don't want to connect it, but the next 4 years we're looking for a more of a downward spiral, going a little bit downward spiral.
Right,
Yeah, not because of COVID in general, just
but
because of
because
a leftist leftist socialist agenda of it's a leftist socialist global agenda at this point. It's kind of sick, like these people are they're fighting to input a system that is a remnants of like what Lenin's revolution in Russia, what happened. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like, okay, the czars. I'm not saying that their system was great or any better. They lived in luxury and the poor people were living poor. But what they installed was like one of the worst systems in human history. This communism, and people are we so far removed from it? I mean, it's been barely it's 100 years, a little what 100 years and a year or two, and we already as a human was it a human race have we forgot the horribleness of that? I mean, not Cambodia, or was it uh Russia, and all these other, and what's happening in North Korea. These are all, and China, even to this day, the way they operate things. And then in the West, we're trying to implement and say, well, they're not doing it right. It was never done right. It was never been done right. It will never be done right because the right way is the wrong way anyway. So it's getting
we
scary.
have very short memories, Jimmy.
Yeah,
We have very short memories, Jimmy, and that
we
that
got
not that
fascists.
I haven't actually looked into the
People
statistics.
supporting fascists, calling people who are trying to work their way to liberty fascists. This is this craziest thing. I don't want to talk about politics, but we're going to get into it. So people have elected this. They haven't elected. They've installed this leader, Joe Biden. So basically, this guy was like some corrupt guy making was it a back alley deals with other nations, $1 billion deals, and he's got this son who's making corrupt deals, back alley deals again. So that is the definition of fascism, where you got the government in cahoots with the business to take over. Was it people, a nation, and that's the person they install and say the other person that was fighting that was a fascist. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
man.
ridiculous.
Yeah, man. I don't mean that as in sounding like someone from, say, the Caribbean. When I meant yeah, man, of course I was referring to Chris's comment. That's what we need to talk about next, Jimmy.
Yemen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Chris, why do you want to talk about Yemen? Yeah, you're right. We,
Well,
we
we
don't
don't
talk about Yemen.
hear about Yemen a lot now. We do not hear about Yemen now, says Chris.
Yeah,
Specifically,
we,
his
we
comment.
don't we don't hear about
I
Yemen
thought
now.
that was
Well,
Jimmy.
it depends. I
The
think
reason
the reason we don't hear about Yemen is what goes on with Saudi Arabia and their relations to the rest of the world. Okay, here we go. I'm going to read some mainstream media headlines here. Let's see. Newsweek has a 1 day ago. Saudi Arabia, MBS brace for Biden action on Yemen. So here we go. The new president has vowed to reassess
I thought we
ties.
didn't want to talk about politics.
No,
What
I'm
about some
answering
good
Chris's.
news?
Come
Some
on,
alternative. Okay.
Martin. I'm
Ah,
answering his. Okay, I'm answering to was it Chris's? Was it a comment? Okay. So come on here. The new
right.
president has vowed to reassess ties with what he has termed a pariah regime and its ruling royal family. Yemen access constraints as of 19 January 2021. Biden urged to revoke Yemen Houthis terrorist designation. Biden promised to end a devastating war. He must act it. Here's the deal. The U.S. and any other country, Western country, including English, should not be dealing in the Middle East at all. At all, you have no say. You can do business outside of it. You don't have to support. If you don't want to support the regime, then you do not support it with dollar. Do not reinstate some other corrupt person and then decide you're going to take over their business and make back alley deals with them. This is ridiculous. Let's not get involved. And that was one great thing that with the President Trump there. Poverty, terrorism blamed. Yeah, poverty, terrorism. It's ridiculous. This all started with in the early days with Britain and America going into the Middle East. So this is your country and my country. It's a very bad thing what they did there. It's the European colonization that really is. There's some good parts to it, bad parts. In the Middle East, trying to control people that they don't understand. It's ridiculous. They have their own way of system, trying to install this false sense of crazy democracy from the West into those countries is a ridiculous thought. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You know who needs to take care of the Middle East? People in the Middle East. Somebody from the Middle East. That's what needs to happen. No foreign country who has complete different ideas about what culture and ways that people should live cannot go into a place and try to change it. It just doesn't work that way.
Well, often
let them fight themselves.
Often the USA thinks that they can do that. They do that. But as we've seen multiple times.
And England too. And England too. And NATO. And all the members of NATO. What is that? We don't even need a NATO. Get rid of NATO. Get rid of NATO. This is a World War II thing. That's over. Get rid of it. Why is it still acting out?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not a politician, thankfully.
When they actually have good people in the Middle East running things, okay, when they actually have good people running in the Middle East, NATO, England, America, they're all guilty of destroying that because of business, and it's horrible. We can go back with Iran. The problem with Iran started, it was in the 50s with Mossadegh. They had their first democratically elected leader that wanted to nationalize oil. Say, this is our oil from our land. We want to use it to improve our country. Britain and America goes, no. We need access to that. So we're going to install another government, destroy you. And that's why Iran is the way it was now. That's why Iran is the way it is now. And I think other countries like Afghanistan too are like that. If you look back to pictures in the 40s and 50s, and you look at places like, look up 1940s Afghanistan or 1950s Iran, you will see a very modern countries that compete with the best of the Western culture, on an even footing. But we had to push it back into the Dark Ages, and we blamed them. But no, America and England pushed them back into the Dark Ages with their stupid policies of trying to control the oil.
Right.
And they did the same thing recently when with the Obama administration and Clinton. That stupid cunt. What they did was in Libya. So we have this great guy, Gaddafi, well respected in Africa, who's called the African Lion. He was on the road to create independent banks for Africa, within Africa, to create a satellite system to install telecommunication systems within Africa, and I think his banks are probably going to be gold-based. So, yeah, they couldn't take that. So we have to destroy him and call him a terrorist. And this guy was, and I don't agree with maybe the system that he implemented. People were getting, when they get married, they get a subsidy for schools, they get free schooling and all this stuff. Maybe I don't agree with that kind of system, but they were taking care of the people in his country. He was taking care of the people in his country, and he was much loved in Africa, and they destroyed him because he wouldn't follow along with this Western hypocrisy. Okay, what is Chris? Do you think the UN is good? Should bring peace, but no one will ever agree compromise. No, I don't think the UN is good. I think get rid of the UN. That was one disappointing thing. I was hoping that in the next, was it 4 years, if Trump was there, they would get rid of the UN. Forget the UN. Who are the UN with a bunch of nations telling other nations how they should live? I mean, you have unilateral, was it conversation, but no, it's like a big bully organization. Not a big fan of the UN. I think maybe the basis of what they pretend that it stands for, it sounds good, but I don't think that's what it is. Yeah. For instance, wasn't it? I'm not sure because I'm not really familiar with all this. Was it political? Was it what's going on politically? But I'm just like ranting about certain things that I do here that I catch my ear. Wasn't it? Was it the UN wouldn't recognize, or the America wouldn't recognize Taiwan because they had a connection with China? And so what? To be on the was a good side of China that they wouldn't recognize Taiwan? How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? Because I think Taiwanese will probably tell you that the real China is Taiwan. The real China ended when Taiwan was made, when the original government was exiled and had to move over to Taiwan, and China became communist. So yeah. So, and I've been to Taiwan. I haven't been to China yet, but so I'm not saying China's not a beautiful country, but their system fucking blows. Now they want to try to install that in the other country.
Good.
It's The food's good. The food's good. You're right. It's amazing. Yeah. I think you can find Chinese restaurants in any country in the world. In any country in the world, I'm sure you can find it. I don't care where you can find it. And I think that the beauty about the Chinese food is
including North Korea.
Including North Korea, including everywhere. And the thing is, they use they don't have to be so picky. They can make Chinese food out of what's available in their area. That's the beautiful thing. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah.
I have to tell you, and I think I'm just wondering if Chris is still here. This is a good example of what I've been repeatedly mentioning actually over the last handful of days. I didn't know it was repeatedly mentioning it, but I was reminded that the question had been asked and answered. Which is that possibly in a few months' time on HAPS we'll be able to see. So my question is, just while I'm saying this, if Chris is still watching, if you could let us know, Chris. And that's the point that I'm coming to, what I was mentioning to that if you're on a broadcast, this particularly if there's, I'm just waiting. I think you're still there. Can you hear me, Jimmy?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're going in and out.
I think you can. But I'm just double checking.
Well, there's sometimes that H.
I am right. Okay, fine. I think it was possibly right. Both of us doing that. Okay. That means that's as I suspected. It's actually a network issue on HAPS on their platform because the structure has to rather than our if it connect or trying to. First of all, we're trying to establish if Chris is there. If he heard that, maybe he's not. I don't know. I haven't had a response yet. We'll see just a moment. But then again, I see that my internet connection is a bit iffy, as in my camera has got a bit iffy here. So, and yours hasn't. So it could be indeed the connectivity here, which is most odd and more concerning than anything. Indeed, thank you very much for that, Chris. So he is still there. So what about? I got a feeling HAPS are probably watching, and you never know. They don't want me to repeat this, but it would be really good if you've got someone or multiple people watching your broadcast and they've made a comment, whether we know they're watching still or not at any time. So the fact is, Chris comes in here, makes a comment, but we can see whether he's watching still, whether he's exited the broadcast. And that makes all the difference because, as we're doing now, Jimmy, we're having a chat. And then at some point, I might want to respond to Chris. It might have been an appropriate and a poignant post that he'd put on here in a comment for us to respond to. But if he's left the broadcast and other people have been asking questions as well, it would make sense to prioritise their questions first if we know they're here, still here. And anyone that's left the broadcast, we won't ignore them, but we won't necessarily prioritise their question. It would be unreasonable. So, for example, the simple way would be that if Chris posts a comment, next to his comment and everything else that it says there about his profile, you could have a little green dot to tell us that he's posted and he's still in the broadcast. But the dot could go red if he has chosen to leave the broadcast at any time.
That's
Such
brilliant.
a simple functionality to implement. Absolutely. Because again, someone might come and just say, "Hi guys, how are you?" or something. And then I would politely respond. But if they've left the broadcast, I might not even respond in the broadcast on that one. I might see it at the end of the broadcast after we're no longer live. And I will just comment and say, "Hey, thanks for watching. Tune in again. Watch again." That sort of thing. Great to have you on board, which it is for all of you guys and girls watching.
Oh, there you go. Now you're out. Yeah, but we definitely could use. You went out for a second, Martin. You went out for a second, but yeah, you definitely. I mean, you should be taking notes. You should be taking notes and giving these to Haps because, yeah, they're pretty great ideas. I mean, I know you're on top of it and you're really, into it. Because for me, it's like, well, it's an era. I really don't mind so much, but yeah, you definitely should make these notes to them. And it would greatly improve their platform.
Yeah, I'm still here. Right.
Yeah, I can see you in the corner there.
Yes, at the moment. That's good. Yeah, I'll be coming back in vision just shortly, but I just had a little bit of an idea as someone who thinks out the box. So if you bear with me just a second, yeah, I'll be able to confirm somewhere along the line what the technicalities are. In the meantime, can we talk about something else that's happened in your week in the past 7 days? It's different.
I tell you what. I tell you what. No, I'm starting to buy.
Not looking at your microscope, are you?
No, I'm not looking at my microscope. What do you want? Yeah. So here's the deal. So I would like to talk about the thing about China, which is really horrible. So I'm starting to collect some silver coins, and recently I have been. Was it ripped off, or was it? I fell for it. My own fault. I bought a few silver coins, and after inspection, I found out they were fake. And because I bought them online, it's very difficult to get my money back. So I'll just take that as an education. But the thing is that there's too many fake things that are coming from China. I know that everybody knows about this site Wish, which is, to a certain extent, is very exciting. You can get a lot of cheap stuff, but there's too much fake stuff coming too easily. All over the world. It's just they're sending it out everywhere. And, it might be fun to buy a fake bags or fake Rolex or something like that. But this stuff is entering the marketplace and is being marketed as a normal, regular thing. And this is horrible. There's got to be a much stronger sanction on China to be in control over that. And, I don't mind if there's a few fake things floating around and you get tricked by it. But now it's getting ridiculous. The China situation. This is a horrible what's going on. It's very horrible, and and I'm guilty of feeding into that too. It's very difficult not to buy Chinese product because of the price points. And okay. So for instance, I bought 3 things in the past few days, and I'm pretty much guaranteed that they're probably all made in China. All made in China. So here's the USB microscope you were talking about. I got, was it a micro scale? And what is this called? I forgot what this is called. Caliper. So when you're measuring, for instance, here goes an American peace dollar from 1922. If you're measuring that, you can, actually, it'd probably be this way. Oh, so you can see this is a 38.1 centimeter coin, a millimeter coin. Yeah. So yeah, and all those 3 products were made in China. It's a shame. Yeah. So definitely, it's not like we can't use what's being made in China, but they need to be. There needs to be much stricter control on China. Okay. Here's another thing about China. Like a couple weeks ago, I read about this, and it was ridiculous that I thought. Now, I am not a big fan of like the WHO. WHO, all these like world organizations. I'm not a big fan of. I think, but anyway, the WHO decided to say, okay, China, we want to go into China and investigate what happened during the past year, how this whole COVID-19 or pandemic, if it did start in China or not, what happened. And China goes, no, we're not ready. We're not ready for you to investigate what happened. So
Hmm.
what do you mean you're not ready? You have to set up everything. You have to set up everything so it looks like nice and fine that you did what you were supposed to do, and they only want to show you what they want you to see. So yeah, China. I have nothing against the Chinese people, but fuck them. Fuck them and their communism and their government control. It's coming to a
Right.
Western country near you,
Okay. Can I just
courtesy of the
confirm with
left.
you, Jimmy? I'm very, very. Well, actually, I just had an idea, another techie idea, but just to clarify with you guys and girls, to share you. You wonder what I'm looking at, and when I'm not on camera, when we're having these techie moments and the glitches that we've been having just now. What we've got here, I just wanted to introduce so you can see, Jimmy. You can see my main picture there on the screen wasn't too good as it
Yeah,
was when we started.
your phone is
Right.
better.
Well, the mobile device that I've just fired up there, as you can see, is certainly different in terms of quality. And because we're not stupid here, and we're trying to find out if you've mentioned a few words that are a bit choice recently, but let me use the word shit here in conjunction with trying to establish what the situation is with the HAPS app, because quite frankly, I'm pretty disappointed once again over the last what are we doing, just over 61 minutes now. But as you can see, it suggests to me that the problem isn't with the connectivity here, because we're I mean, look, it's recovered now that I'm saying that. This one was still not as good as it was before. This camera here, there you go. So yeah, definitely I would suggest somehow it's not at this end, the issue. And more so, we didn't touch anything, and the reason you lost me just before, particularly when you're talking about your coins, is because suddenly I was kicked out of the app. Just kicked me out
Oh,
automatically. Yes,
Martin,
that could be if I was having a
why did you
poor or
why did
lost
you get rid of the other Martin? Why did you get rid of the other Martin?
big,
I was about to
because
suggest that we start
we
a cappella group.
Yeah, but the point is, you and me can see the other Martin, the other camera, still. And when this one right here, that everyone else can see, decides to head off and give us more problems, probably won't do now. If the other one is still there, it does mean that it is the connectivity of this particular device to the on the HAP servers, not on the internet. Because of what we've got configured and going on here. But there you are. There you are. The fun of live video and on online content creation there. Martin, very pixelated. Yes, thank you for that, Chris. That's my whole point. It still is, isn't it? Compared to what it was earlier on when you said how good it was, and because it was then. But anyway, yeah. So
Front
yeah, you were
lighting. You could
saying
use some front lighting.
you're giving us your opinions. Oh, I can do that. Yeah, I realised that when we first started as well, so, along with the microphone that wasn't connected properly, or at least installed, not inaugurated, but installed correctly, to give it its correct term. But it is now, which is why you can definitely hear me fine.
It started so well. Well, it's really hard to keep things going well.
Chris, so did the world, my friend.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to get that,
And then he made man.
yeah,
Then he
the government
created
found out
man.
that with the last year of a pandemic. Right. It was working 20, well, yeah, probably about, actually, no, it must have been about 15 hours ago. I think he was in the middle of his shift, his last shift at the supermarket. And I think he's therefore working the weekend. But they keep changing his shift, or they had changed his shift, if I remember rightly, Chris. Chris always used to work locally at his store there on a Thursday night. I think it was, among other nights. But it has, as I think he's also told us recently, it's changed somewhat because of the pandemic and having to be, well, flexible as an employee with everything going on, particularly the various tiers that we've had, whether it's close to a lockdown or not. They divide it up, the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Introduce a tier 5 out of the blue because they thought they could. Shocking. We're going back to idiots now and the clown and his circus when it comes to running the country. We better not do that. We've kind of touched on that already.
31 flavors.
Chris is working tonight. What about that?
Working tonight.
Right.
Oh, okay. Wait. What time was it again there in England?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
What time is it now? It's 10 to 1 o'clock.
Right now, it's almost 8 minutes to 4 p.m. 8 minutes to 4 p.m. local time. Goodness me. Yeah, sorry.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday night currently is when he's working. We got all these. Was it typers but no speakers? What's up with all these typers but no speakers? We need to get some speakers on here.
What do you
Martin.
mean typers but no speak? Oh, I see. You mean no verbal? No.
Yeah, I want verbal confrontation.
Yeah. I got speakers, computer, and I thought about it yesterday. And without sounding a pedant, right? I did. Okay, well, at the moment, by the way, I'm actually pleased. See, you say pixelated there, guys and girls, but as you can see, this device over here, when we head over to it, it's actually sharing.
Much better. Let's do that.
It's actually sharing one of the internet connections. This is sharing one of the internet connections that the other camera over here is on. This one has bonded multiple connections, which is why I'm suggesting that the issue is at the other end with HAPS.
Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. Bring up the other Martin.
And
bring back the other Martin.
Get rid of this guy.
Get rid of this
I
guy.
can't do so immediately again.
Yeah, you can get rid of him. Jimmy? Yeah. You can keep your eye on Mr. Pixelated and keep the camera on. Was it your other device?
No, I'm afraid we can't do that.
You can get rid of Mr. Pixelation.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, this is a work in progress at the moment. I'm actually going to do something here that I'd rather not do. Jimmy, you'll have to hold the fort if I drop out, and I will be back. But I'm going to try something here.
Why don't you try putting on your? Was it? Oh God, I have to move you up here myself, or what? Yeah, here we go. Oh, how do I get both of us in here? There we go. Yeah, Martin, this is much better right here. You can speak now. You sounded much better. Here, I'll unmute you. What did you do? Yeah, there you go. You're much clearer now. Let's hear what the sound sounds like on your backup camera. Silence. He's giving me the silent treatment. You're on camera, as you pick your nose with your pinky. Oh, now he disappeared. Yeah, hold down the fort. Like I really don't know how to hold down the fort myself. You want me to start babbling or what? Cheers, everybody. I hope everybody's having everybody's on Friday. I'm in Japan, so I'm on Saturday. I've started my weekend already. It's 12:55 in the morning on Saturday. It seems like that I have an ear infection in my right ear, so tomorrow morning I will be going to the ear and eye doctor. What is that called? I can't remember the fancy word for it. Are you coming back, Martin, or what? Oh, now we're both off here. Oh, there we go. Much better. You give me the silent treatment? Oh, this you're showing us the HAPS-H again. Isn't there anybody, I wish there was somebody else to join us, all this typing, but nobody wants to join us video-wise. We had my friend David join us last week, and suddenly he's not here. I haven't seen him in a few days. He hasn't been like bugging me with my post on Facebook. So I'm like wondering what happened to him. And I'm starting to think that he got kicked off of, was it Facebook again? David, are you there? Let me see. Let me check out. Let me see when was his last post. Here we go. David Billups. Where is he? 6 days ago. So he hasn't been around for 6 days. Man, these social media accounts are. This social media is getting really ridiculous with all this blocking. They're blocking everybody, and it's not just like a right wing thing. So I know there's a lot of people saying, well, it's right wing. It's a left wing thing too. I mean, and some of the comments that people are making, they're rude, and they might be these community standards. What are your community standards? It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. If somebody does not want to hear from you and you don't want to look at their post, just block them. It's so simple. It's as simple as that. So it's just ridiculous. Yeah, my friend David is just, at this moment in time, he's completely on the other side of the political spectrum as far as what we believe in and stuff like that. But why are we blocking him, Facebook? I know Facebook's not listening, but it's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Martin, what are you doing? Why don't you just join us here? Okay, there you are. You can't leave me hanging there. I haven't prepared any notes.
No, you didn't need no notes. No, you didn't need any notes whatsoever.
Yeah. No, but did you hear what I said? Like my friends, like I'm seeing them, they're not there for a week. Obviously, they've been blocked off. They've been kicked off of Facebook for a month or so. It's ridiculous. Like, what's the point of that? Just block it. It's this nanny state where everybody's like reporting, oh, this guy is like, he's saying things I don't like. Go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No, it's ridiculous. And even people I don't agree with, which I have people, there's people commenting on my Facebook post, and I don't even want to respond. But they're free to do that. If I really didn't want to see their posts or their comments, I would just fucking block them, and I don't. And so I've come to terms with that. So if they comment on my post, I just ignore it, or I say thank you for your comment, thank you for your opinion. That's it. And the reason I keep them, because they are the other side of the argument, and I want to see what they're thinking. So, and they're ranting and talking, as far as my way of thinking, they're talking hateful shit about my beliefs and my belief system. But you know what? It's okay. I'm not that delicate. I'm not going to crumble under that. But I am. But it's just ridiculous that these places like Facebook and Twitter are just cutting people off. It's ridiculous. It's Big Brother. It's exactly what the Russians were doing. It's really funny that we have come to the a fork in the road. Well, we're beyond the fork now, where Russia is much more of a leader of freedom, and America has turned into this like left-wing socialist communist state, where people are begging for Big Brother. Oh, government is going to save me. Come on, oppress the ones that don't think like me. Come on. And you don't think they're going to come after you next? Well, you're a fucking idiot. And that's the truth.
And say so to us?
Yes.
Well, what can I say, Jimmy? Thank you for holding the fort, by the way, with what's been going on here. But yeah,
don't let me rant.
Well, there are other options. And did you say hello to Lisa, by the way? Did you say hello to Lisa when she said hello about 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, I'm trying to...
She's on there just saying hi.
I'm trying to tell Lisa that she should sign up for Haps, so you can directly comment in Haps. Then I can post your comments onto, well, not today, but Martin can do it. We can post your comments onto Haps, so they'll come on the screen, and you'll be more involved in our conversation. Haps.tv. Sign in, everybody. Comment. Even if you disagree with me, I'm fine with that. You won't hurt me.
See, just as a reminder, Jimmy, Just as a reminder, though, they've updated the app as well on the website, rather, at haps.tv. And this means that the functionality that gives you, as you can see on the screen now, someone's comment, done that a couple of times already. That's changed slightly, the way we make that happen and ensure that those words are eligible and viewable by people watching the video. It's not as ideal as it used to be, I think, but that's a personal thing. I'm sure plenty of people thought it was a good idea. As I say, I do think that some heads need maying together at Haps HQ, but far be it for me to be saying that right now. We're in a situation. I'll be very, very interested to see what happens. But, we're going to end this broadcast very shortly. We'll test one, particularly on here, for some very good reasons. But yeah, as I say, it's sort of fallen apart towards the end, and was saying I don't really want to bring into the equation but it's the only way to do it. But as you can what I call safety shot connectivity.
You're pixelated, and your sound is falling out. Stick with your mobile device. Let's do it with your mobile device. Oh, now I can't even hear you. Oh, you muted yourself. That's why. But your sound isn't on your mobile device. That's why. Did you mute the mobile device? Oh, you're muted. On purpose. You're muting it on purpose.
Not now, I'm not.
Okay, good. There you go.
But once again, I mean, there's so much that's questionable. As I say, there is an issue with the sound here. As you can hear, that's why I don't really want to have such a device on screen. But
yeah, now you're going to go. Well, as soon as Martin gets that sorted out, we are going to start an a cappella group. 2 Martins and 1 Jimmy. Okay? Oh, now you're silent. You're on mute, boy. You're on mute. And let me take you off mute. There you go. Technical difficulties in England here. I think they're trying to block you. I think this could it be some kind sort of censorship? It's funny, when I was in LA, when I was living in LA,
Jimmy.
and I was using Google,
yes,
and I was telling I was on Google, and I was telling somebody that if I typed in my name, and already some things they were associating, was it some names of your name or places, and they would connect you to something, and maybe it was a glitch where they weren't supposed to show you, but you would see things, so they would follow you on your device. And we're talking like 10 years ago. This was happening 10 years ago. And, the people would tell me, yeah, you're crazy. They're not doing that. They're not doing, yeah, they are. And they have been doing. It's so funny that all these supposed conspiracy theories are all true now, but, you're just labeled an idiot if you're a critical thinker, or if you question. Yeah. So you have like these conspiracy theories that you have 10 of them, and 8 of them are correct, and then people will say, well, you're a conspiracy theorist and you're just like talking crazy because 2 of the things that you were questioning were bullshit, but the 8 other ones they don't even mention. That's the world today. They always say, oh, conspiracy theory, but like all these things that have been happening, yeah, this is all the stuff that's what the conspiracy theorists have been talking about. It's very funny, isn't it? All these things that are happening, and the thing is, we're supposed to accept it as great, with no question. Oh, it's great, we can do this. It's great, we can do this. Yeah.
Suspicious, yes.
It's horrible. And the thing is, like, I am guilty of falling in line with, what is it? It seems you need high-end equipment to work properly, which suggests Haps fix things first before coming up with anything new.
I can't explain to you, Chris, because I can't get a word in, and I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Yeah, Chris's comment is correct. If we, anyone needs high-end equipment, certainly. Yeah.
In general, is the connection in Britain not that great? In Japan,
Correct.
The connection's pretty good.
Correct.
And it's very funny because
what's happened here, Jimmy, is that the connection today, while it had a little blip, because we know it's all been good, while it had a little blip, it's been absolutely fine over recent minutes and this broadcast, and there isn't a problem. It seems to me that HAPS for some reason has an issue when you recover after a blip that was instantaneous. HAPS isn't too happy, and
joke?
Isn't necessarily the technology here, you understand.
Was that a joke? Was that a joke? HAPS isn't happy?
Is it a joke? Let's have a look. What does it say? What does it say? Oh, hang on. No, I'm just going to. Although I thought that's what was going to happen. No, never mind. Right, no, we're back. The two of us then on the screen.
Yes, I like that. That's great. Yeah, don't leave me here. Don't leave me hanging, man. I start ranting if you leave me. I got too many goddamn opinions. So anyway, what you got planned for the? What you had was it? Let's hear about. Well, you had an accident. You had an accident.
But anything other than what we've already mentioned on that?
Your voice is. I can't hear you.
Yeah, not me. Well, yeah, it was me personally. Wasn't injured. It was a vehicle accident.
The sound very bad. Very bad.
I think you need to go a bit sherry then.
Excuse me?
Slower on the sheet. It's shocking.
What happened to your mobile device? That was great.
Shocking. Hold the fort there.
Yeah, I'm going to hold the fort.
I know.
Technical difficulties.
You're going to have to still... I think we should stay with this, actually, because what
we're
end
staying.
up doing is... Okay, so the reason I can't leave the broadcast and do what I want to do right now is because I think if I do, it will end, because if you remember, only one person could start it. Everything else is shareable, but remember what I was saying? We were saying?
Sure.
So we're going to get to the bottom of this.
So on the technical side, what do you find? What do you think is the problem, and what are you trying to do about it? Because then there may be other people that want to start their own broadcast. Yeah.
I think if it's not the browser, it's the device here. HAPS wants to have a new handshake with the browser or with the device that's being used. That's my opinion. Did that make sense, or do you want me to elaborate? Or
it's kind of like a refresh.
Can you hear me?
That's what it wants to happen. Like a refresh wants to happen. Is that the case?
Possibly, but we can't do that in a broadcast.
Why don't you just go back to your mobile device?
Can you not hear me now, Jimmy?
I can hear you, but your visual is off. Just switch to your mobile device. It would work fine. Join with your mobile device. You trying to fix things on air? It's not working anyway.
Let's see.
Otherwise, I have to ramble on again. Ah, there we go.
There you go.
That's what we wanted to see.
Wow.
There we go.
Now, this is going to be rather interesting. You know why? Well,
why?
You know why, Jimmy? But I don't. Right. Because I'll push to the limits here at the moment.
We're gonna close up of your hand. Now we got three people. We got 3 people are gone. Yeah, they said they heard your blah, 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 voice and then they disappeared.
They've actually commented that, have they?
I can join to see what happens. I'm on desktop. Okay, yeah, join. Come on, let's join. Yeah, Chris is going to join. It sounds great. Can we send him an invite? Send him an invite. Okay, well, Can I send him an invite? No, I don't think I can.
There we go. So what we've been trying to do.
How do we
So
send
what
him
we've
an
been trying to do,
invite?
Jimmy, is that as you can see, we've got multiple devices. We could listen for a start.
Yes.
So my point was that we now have multiple devices connected using the same internet connection that this is using.
Uh-huh.
But as you can see, and I'm afraid I do apologise to everyone for the sound in the background. Let me just see if I can do. No. There we go. Let's turn it down at the bit.
Chris, you're invited.
Yeah, but once again, I haven't fixed that
I've
issue
invited
yet.
you.
Because you can't totally mute anyone. Why would you do that, Jenny? Well, I'll leave you to it. Have a good rest of your show. Thanks for watching.
What are you talking about? Oh, there goes Chris. He said he's on his desktop, so. But he's not coming in.
Hello.
Oh, there he goes.
I should be there. Am I there? Oh, God.
Well, I hear you, but I don't think you're in the broadcast yet.
Oh.
Hey, Martin, what's going on? Big
It
pause.
says that I'm connected.
Yes, we're connected.
It says yes. No picture, and you've gone very pixelated.
Am I? I've gone
Yeah,
pixelated.
Hang on, let's see what happens there. Right,
So could it be an overload if there's 3? Is that could be the problem,
possibly.
Martin?
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering whether 3 would be too many.
Any response from Martin? I don't know if he can hear us.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, great.
But you carry on. Chris is on his device. You haven't brought Chris in. I'm going to disappear for a short time. But
hey, Chris, how you doing?
Oh, there I am. But
yeah.
And there you are. Proof positive.
There's big delays. There's big delays with it all working.
Yeah, I think we might have to disconnect you because this is not working out. It's like I'm seeing you're very pixelated.
Yeah.
We'll have to get this sorted out before we invite you back in. Thanks for letting us use you as a test subject, Chris.
Now, what we're trying. No, let's stay there, Chris.
I'll stay there.
Stay, okay.
No, you should stay there, Chris. With all this confusion here, don't mind. If you'd like to have some patience, Jimmy, because what's actually happened improved. I mean, internet connection isn't. Chris's internet connection is not as awful it might appear to be. There are many issues with pixelation. Don't mind. One of your and what this has actually turned into now is well, quite frankly, it's something we're not paid to do, and the people perhaps are. But what I've just managed to do here is it's a process of elimination, and if I press that, get rid of myself over there, but I was being pushed to do this. Yes, still we've got that pixelation. Actually, I think. So Chris, did you manage to do a speed test on your internet connectivity? Sorry, Jimmy seems to know the answer.
Sky recommended 63, I think it is.
No, my question was because Chris said that I seemed pixelated, but I didn't see myself being pixelated, so I thought that was strange.
I'm just
right. I've got Jimmy and you up for a couple of seconds. It goes probably when I'm moving, isn't it? Is it worse if I stay still? Am I then pixelated?
You're not pixelated now, but sometimes your sound does fall out. So, how about yours? Was it? Let me give you my speed here. It says I got a download speed of 223, and the upload speed seems to be about 40 over 40.
Oh,
How about you, Martin? What do you got? No, I think you got yourself on mute, so I can't hear you.
oh.
Yeah, my upload and download speed is fine. And so, Martin, what you're saying that your upload and download speed is fine too? How about you, Chris? What's the situation with your download and upload speed?
Oh, quite bad. I just done a quick. Oh, hello. Your internet speed is fine. It's saying 11.4 download and 6.97 upload. Very poor, isn't it?
But you're looking on was it a mobile device?
I'm
So
looking
that's
on a
kind of,
mobile voice, so I think got to test it on the computer really.
so what about you,
Or what?
are you on a desktop? Are you on a
I'm on the
desktop
desktop.
computer?
Yeah, yeah.
And are you connected through an Ethernet connection or a Wi-Fi connection?
What? It's a Wi-Fi connection.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't
yeah.
know why do you do that? I don't understand why people do that. Like they sit at home and they connect themselves to a Wi-Fi connection. Why is that?
I'm in the shed. I'm outside. I'm in the garden.
Oh, okay. Okay, so how far is the house?
Right. Well, not too far away.
So you could lay out some Ethernet cable there.
Possibly.
Well,
Possibly.
let me tell you my situation is
Right.
that I have what was this mesh this like the past recent years is a thing called the mesh network.
Hmm.
So I have uh my main Wi-Fi internet coming out of the wall in the living room.
Hmm.
And I'm on the Netgear Orbi system where I have a main unit hooked up to the wall, and then I have a satellite Wi-Fi unit that is actually repeating the exact same signal. And from that satellite unit, I'm connected through an Ethernet cable.
Right.
So it's very interesting. So it's
Hmm.
kind of a Wi-Fi thing, but it's not actually. It's a little bit different. So my was it a connection is pretty stable. Earlier today, I did actually my internet went out when I was talking to before we got the show started. My internet went out, and that happens about once a month. But it's very funny that that it seems like England has a lot more problems with the internet, and I'm wondering
Yeah,
why.
they've been very slow building the network, I think. But I got
But
one of those little boxes that you plug in a wall that you plug in, and that
yes,
has
to make the signal
to make,
stronger.
to make the signal stronger, and I put that on the furthest wall possible. So, but I'm finding sometimes it's not too bad. Sometimes it's bad, especially when it rains. When it rains, it's useless.
You know what? I'm gonna suggest because that's what I'm using now, and maybe it's not as far as you are, but this I know Google has one too. It's called the Google Nest, but I'm using this Netgear was it Orbi, and it's not so inexpensive. It cost me what if I talk about US dollars, it cost me about $300 or $400, but the connection seems to be very strong. It's a net, and you can get much cheaper ones for about $100 or even less, I think. So it's a mesh network system. So I'm going to suggest that to you.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
because if you have an actual was it a what kind of internet connection do you have? Do you have a good quality internet connection that's coming out of the wall?
It's yes, but I
Okay.
might be able to change to cable.
Well, I heard cable isn't as good as the.
But yeah, that's right. Yes, it's all in between, isn't it? It's,
I'm
they've
telling
just,
you,
they've just
I'm going to
put it
suggest
all
the
in.
mesh
Yeah?
network. I'm going to suggest
Hmm.
the mesh network to you because that's what I have, and I have no trouble. Well, I mean, I'm not that far. If as far as meters go, I'm probably about 15 to 20 meters away from my was it the unit, the real unit that's coming out of the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. The what do you call it, the mothership of the internet here in my place. But this satellite's connecting very nicely, and I rarely have any trouble. So mesh networking, I suggest you look into it if you don't know
Yeah.
about it.
My contract is up with the company anyway, who I'm with currently,
Yes.
with Sky. So it's probably I was going to have a little look around.
No, I'm not talking about the system that was it the service you're using. I'm talking about
Yeah.
a device that's connected to my router, and then what it does is it bounces a satellite signal, kind of like similar to a satellite signal, over to my other unit, and from there I'm connected to an Ethernet, and from Wi-Fi too, and it stays approximately. It's very strong signal, even though it's far away. So mesh network.
Okay.
If you would like to know more about it, mesh network. It's become popular, especially people with big houses use it. Well, they have their main unit, and you can have as many satellites if you want. If you have a large house, you can have 2 satellite units, and the signals coming out from your satellite units are going to be almost as strong as the main was it a router. So definitely recommend it. So Martin, how are you doing there? What's going on?
Well, as I was trying to explain, you've got to be quite, what's the word, patient with all this stuff. And I thought we'd get somewhere with this, but it seems to me, and I've just had another one final thing. You see, you've got to be clever with this technology. And remember, you know what it's like when you, Chris will understand, we'll use the word BT or Sky. Other service providers are available, but you know what it's like when your internet's not working, and one of those two, if not someone else, Virgin Media, are your provider, and you have to say BT in particular because they provide your telephone and your internet, if not your TV as well. All right, you have a problem, you call them, they sort it out. Whether it's in an hour or a year, they fix it. But of course, as you tell your internet, which might be, for example, PlusNet, they provide the service on usually. So straight away, you ring them up and it's like, oh, we don't think it's our fault. It's not our service. It must be the line that's provided by another company. It's not our problem. And that's often what they do, backwards and forwards. So what I'm trying to do now is we're obviously the process of elimination will determine exactly where it's on what you can see. Or if I say so myself, a very smart idea. So I'm going to disappear one more time and come back with you guys very shortly, and I'll be most shocked if this doesn't work. So do keep talking and holding fort, guys. And lovely to have you back here, by the way, Chris. Thanks a lot. I'm glad to see that you're well in the man cave, and things are relatively good between you and Jimmy Heaven. Jimmy, back to you, and Chris.
Yeah. Okay, so your man cave. So Chris, what you work at a supermarket?
I do, yes. Yeah, 16 years.
16 years. What do you do? What's the deal? What is your?
Well, currently I just stack the shelves at night.
Okay. Well, may I ask what you were doing before that?
Well, I've been there for 16 years. I used to stack the shelves during the day, and they didn't want anybody during the day suddenly because they said we got enough people. All we need is checkout operators. We want people to stack at night. So I'm currently doing that. I've been doing nights for 4 years. So
is this situation? What was it? A British supermarket? Is it open 24 hours or what's the deal?
No.
Is it?
It opens from 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning to 10 at night.
Okay. Are there 24-hour supermarkets?
Yes, there was still some about. Asda, which used to be Walmart. Some of them.
The American-based ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because America, 24 hours is very common. Yeah. So in Japan, we don't have any 24-hour supermarkets, but what we do have is we have a lot of convenience stores, and Japan is the king of convenience stores. So there's a lot of 24-hour convenience stores where you can pretty much live off a convenience store in Japan. The food is excellent. If you stay out all night, you're drinking all night. In the morning, you need to go to work. You've been sleeping on the street because you passed out in front of the subway. Guess what? You can walk into a convenience store and get a white business shirt and a necktie just to change to get to work. So that's how convenient the Japanese convenience stores are. So I'm interested in hearing about what the supermarket situation has been in the past year in England. In Japan last April, we had, and I guess it wasn't only in Japan, it was happening in America too. I don't know if it was in Europe, where toilet paper became unavailable.
Yes. Same with us.
Same in England. So